The moment they reach out. When they finally reach out, it can feel like a shock. Your heart races. Your mind floods with questions. Why now? Do they miss me? Should I reply? You want to believe it means something. But here's the truth most people miss. That message isn't just a text, it's a test. Not from them, but from life itself, to see if you've really grown or if you'll fall for the same old pattern again. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." This moment is your chance to prove that, to choose calm over chaos, to protect your peace, to stand in your strength. So today, we're breaking down the 7 biggest mistakes people make when their ex reaches out, and how to avoid them the Stoic way. If you're ready to respond with power instead of panic, stay till the end. Because mistake number 7 is the one that ruins 90% of reconciliations. Mistake number 1, reacting too fast. You see their name appear on your screen, and for a split second it feels like time stops. Your stomach tightens, your chest gets heavy, your mind starts racing faster than your breath can catch up, and before you even realize it, your fingers are already moving, typing, deleting, retyping. It's like your body remembers before your mind does. That familiar pull, that rush of emotion, it feels automatic. But right there, in that split second, is where you either keep your power or lose it. Because reacting is not strength, it's surrender. Every fast reply says, "You still have access to me," and every pause says, "I choose myself first." The Stoics called that pause sacred, the small, quiet space between what happens and how you respond. That space is your freedom. When you skip it, you hand over your peace to someone else's timing. You let their words steer your mood, your thoughts, your energy. And when emotion leads the way, regret is never far behind. You might think replying fast shows confidence, that it proves you're unaffected. But it doesn't. It shows they still have the power to make you react. It shows that, deep down, you're still waiting for something from them, a response, a reaction, a sign that they still care. But when you learn to pause, you shift everything. You show that your calm isn't an act. It's who you are now. So stop, put the phone down, take one long, steady breath. Look around your space. Remind yourself of everything you've built since they left. The quiet, the balance, the peace that no one gave you but yourself. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are disturbed by anything external, it is not the thing itself that disturbs you, but your judgment about it." The message isn't the problem. It's the meaning you attach to it. And that meaning is a choice. Before you reply, ask yourself, does this message deserve my energy? Will this response serve my peace or disturb it? Am I replying to connect or to feed my ego? If the answer leans toward loneliness, curiosity, or validation, wait, because waiting isn't weakness, it's control. Silence in that moment is discipline disguised as strength. It's your way of saying, "My emotions don't run me anymore." When you delay your response, you reclaim your clarity. You stop chasing closure and start protecting calm. You remind yourself that you don't need to prove anything to anyone, least of all to someone who once cost you your peace. A quick reply shows attachment. A calm pause shows growth. You are not a puppet of your emotions. You are the one holding the strings. And every breath you take before reacting is you cutting those strings for good. So next time you feel the urge to respond, whisper to yourself, "Not yet." Comment below, "I choose calm before reaction." Let it sink in, because silence doesn't mean you stopped caring. It means you finally care about yourself more. Mistake number 2, over-explaining your growth. When they reach out, something inside you wants to speak, Not just to them, but for yourself. You want them to see it, to finally recognize the new version of you, to understand how much you've grown, how much stronger you've become, and how different things are now. You want to tell them that you've healed, that you're not angry anymore, that you've let go, moved on, and found peace. And before you know it, your thumbs are moving fast, typing long messages filled with reflection, depth, and lessons learned. But pause for a second and ask yourself, why? Why do you feel the need to explain your growth to the person who couldn't see your worth when it mattered most? Why do you need them to understand what was never theirs to define? Here's the truth most people miss. When you try to explain your growth, you're not proving strength. You're still chasing validation. You're still performing. And growth that needs to be performed isn't growth yet. Real transformation doesn't need to announce itself. It's not in the words you type or the speeches you give. It's in the way you carry yourself now, in your tone, your calm, your boundaries, your silence. You don't have to say, "I've changed." You just have to live like it, because real growth isn't heard, it's felt. The people who truly see you will feel your evolution through your energy. They'll notice how unbothered you've become, how your reactions are quieter, how your presence feels lighter, how your peace no longer depends on who stays or who leaves. The need to explain comes from a softer ache deep inside, that desire to finally be seen, understood, and accepted. To hear them say, "You've really grown." But a Stoic doesn't live for applause. He stands tall in silence. He walks in truth without needing witnesses. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Don't tell them how much you've changed. Be the change. Don't argue your worth. Embody it. Because those who are meant to be in your life will recognize your growth in your energy, in your restraint, in the quiet dignity of your peace. You don't need to narrate your transformation to prove it's real. Every extra word you speak, trying to convince someone, only weakens the power you've built within. But every calm pause, every thoughtful silence amplifies it. You don't need their approval. You don't need them to understand. Your peace doesn't depend on their recognition. It depends on your discipline. So speak less, mean more, and let your stillness do the talking. You owe no explanation to the person who helped you discover your worth, because the greatest proof of growth is the peace you no longer have to defend. Remember this: when your energy speaks clearly, your words can rest. Mistake number 3, lowering your boundaries. You've spent so long putting yourself back together, piece by piece, moment by moment. You've learned how to exist again without them, how to wake up without that ache in your chest, how to smile without forcing it. You've made peace your home, not the loud kind that shouts confidence, but the quiet kind that feels like still water after a storm. And then one day, it happens. A message, a name you thought you'd erased lights up your phone. Just one notification, and suddenly the walls you built begin to shake. Your heart whispers, maybe they've changed. Your mind whispers, maybe it's different this time. And your soul, tired of being strong alone, whispers, maybe I should give it one more chance. That's how peace slips away. Not through chaos, but through the tiny cracks of hope you never sealed. You see, you can spend months rebuilding yourself and lose all of it in a few careless minutes if you forget to check the locks before you open the door again. Before you reply, before you let them back in, ask yourself 3 questions that only honesty can answer. Have they truly changed, or are they just lonely? Are they respecting your new boundaries, or testing to see if they still can? And most importantly, are you ready, or are you just exhausted from holding the line alone? Because loneliness can wear the mask of forgiveness, and nostalgia can paint old pain in soft colors that make it look harmless. But pain doesn't disappear just because you miss the person who caused it. Boundaries are not punishment. They are not walls that keep love out. They are filters. They let in what's pure and keep out what poisons your peace. They protect the garden you've spent months growing, the mind you've been healing, and the spirit you've been nurturing back to life. And when you lower those boundaries for someone who hasn't earned it, you tell yourself a dangerous lie, that your peace is optional. It's not, it never was, and it never should be. The Stoics believed that peace within yourself is the highest form of strength. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not just a quote. It's a compass. It means your power lies in control, not reaction. In peace, not persuasion. In discipline, not desire. Don't trade your peace for a moment of attention. Don't open the same door just because someone knocked with softer hands. Remember how hard it was to close it the first time, the nights you spent breaking your own heart to heal it. Protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. It took time, pain, and courage to build it. Don't give it away to anyone who hasn't earned it. If they've truly changed, they'll respect your boundaries without pushing them. If they haven't, your silence will teach them what words never could. Say it now and let it sink deep into your spirit. My peace is not negotiable. Because the moment you stop defending your peace is the moment you start losing it. Mistake number 4, thinking their timing means destiny. They reach out, and suddenly it feels like the universe is winking at you. The timing seems too perfect to be random. It's been months, maybe years, and now, out of nowhere, they appear. Your heart whispers, maybe this means something. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe life is finally giving you both a second chance. It feels poetic, like the ending of a movie where everything comes full circle. But stop. Breathe. Because what feels like destiny is often just convenience dressed as meaning. Maybe they're lonely. Maybe something in their world fell apart. Maybe a memory resurfaced, a song, a photo, a dream, and they wanted a quick hit of the comfort you once gave them. Or maybe, deep down, they're just checking if you're still there, still waiting, still open, still reachable. Don't mistake curiosity for cosmic connection. Not every hey is a halo. Sometimes it's just habit. People often reach out not because they've grown, but because the silence you left behind makes them uneasy. And when you've been someone's source of emotional warmth, they'll sometimes return, not for love, but for the feeling of safety they once found in you. That's not destiny. That's discomfort. It's easy to romanticize the timing. It's easy to think the stars aligned, that fate circled back to correct what went wrong. But the universe doesn't speak through a notification. It speaks through your ability to stay calm, grounded, and unmoved. Through your refusal to chase meaning in something that might just be impulse. Seneca once said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." Your preparation is the peace you built in their absence. Your opportunity is to protect it now. Life loves to test you right after you claim you've grown. The moment you say, "I'm done," that's when the past tends to knock. Not because it's meant to return, but because the universe wants to see if you'll answer. That message is not a sign from destiny. It's an exam from life. A quiet question asking, are you still who you were, or have you become who you said you'd be? If you've truly healed, you won't be moved by the moment. You'll read it, feel it, and release it. You'll see it for what it is, a ripple from the past, not a wave meant to carry you forward. Because true destiny doesn't rush. It doesn't come wrapped in confusion or uncertainty. It unfolds slowly through actions that are consistent, peaceful, and honest. Fate doesn't send you a midnight hey. It sends you people who bring calm to your soul, not chaos to your thoughts. So the next time your heart starts to race at the sound of their name, Pause. Don't be swept away by timing. Look deeper. Is this a divine sign or a familiar pattern returning in disguise? Sometimes what looks like fate is really a final test. A test of your discipline, your growth, and your commitment to peace. Remember this. Your story isn't written by who reaches out. It's written by how you respond when they do. Mistake number 5. Replying with emotion, not reason. They say something kind, something familiar, and before you realize it, your heart starts to thaw. A small smile sneaks in, the kind that remembers how it once felt to be understood. Then they mention a memory, a night, a joke, a moment only the two of you would understand. And suddenly, it's as if time folds in on itself. The hurt fades for a moment, and nostalgia takes its place. You can almost hear their voice again, soft and careful. You can almost feel that old warmth wrapping around you. And just like that, you're back in a story you thought you'd finished. That's the danger of emotion. It doesn't ask permission to return. It doesn't knock politely. It floods your heart, and when it floods, reason drowns. Emotion blinds you. Reason frees you. Because when you reply from emotion, you're not really talking to them. You're talking to a feeling. You're speaking from the version of yourself that once loved them, that once craved their validation, that once confused attention for affection. But feelings are like weather. They pass. And the decisions you make in those emotional storms often stay longer than you wanted them to. The Stoics knew this truth better than anyone. They weren't made of stone. They simply understood that emotions are waves, powerful, beautiful, and dangerous when left unchecked. They felt deeply, but they didn't let their feelings drive the ship. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. You can see their message and choose to do nothing. You can feel that tug of memory and decide it means nothing more than what it is, a moment of emotion, not a message from fate. That's your power, choice. You get to choose how much meaning their words carry. You get to choose whether to feed the fire or protect your peace. So before you reply, pause. Don't act, observe. Take all those feelings swirling in your chest and pour them out somewhere safe, on paper, in a note, in silence. Don't judge them, don't suppress them, just let them exist. Then walk away. Let time do its quiet work. Let your emotions settle like dust after a storm. Come back hours later, or even tomorrow, read what you wrote. You'll notice something. The intensity will have softened. The pull won't feel as strong, and the truth will become clear. It was never about them. It was about the emotional echo they left behind. Only respond when your logic speaks louder than your longing. Only reply when your peace is louder than your curiosity. Because calmness is not coldness, it's control. It's the quiet strength of someone who refuses to give away their emotional steering wheel again. It's the understanding that your value isn't proven by how fast you respond, but by how calmly you decide. You're not ignoring them, you're respecting yourself, you're choosing not to let a fleeting feeling undo months of growth. Remember this, your power doesn't come from how much you feel. It comes from what you choose to do despite how you feel. When you master that, no one and no message can drag you back into the old version of yourself. Emotion is the spark. Reason is the flame. Learn to warm yourself with it, not burn in it. Mistake number 6, trying to win them back. When they finally reach out, your heart doesn't race like before, not in the same way. You've grown, you've healed, you've told yourself you've moved on. But quietly, beneath that calm surface, something else stirs. It's not your heart, it's your ego. That little voice that whispers, "This is it." Now you can show them. Now they'll regret letting you go. And for a moment it feels powerful. You imagine the satisfaction of them realizing your worth, of them missing what they once took for granted. You picture the tables turning, the roles reversed. But that's not power, that's the same old attachment, just wearing a more confident mask. Because when you try to win them back, you're still playing the same game. You're just trying to change the score. And the Stoics taught that the need to prove something to someone else is still dependence. You might call it control, but it's really reaction disguised as strength. You may think you're reclaiming your dignity, but if your peace still depends on their response, you're still handing them the key to your emotions. Trying to prove your worth to someone who couldn't see it the first time is like yelling into a storm. Your voice gets lost in the noise, and you're left exhausted, unheard, and drained. You don't win by being louder. You win by walking away from the argument entirely. You don't win by showing them you've changed. You win by no longer needing them to notice. That's the kind of freedom that can't be faked, the kind that doesn't need to post, prove, or perform. It just exists. When you stop chasing validation, everything shifts. You stop trying to impress them and start learning how to express yourself. You move from needing recognition to radiating quiet certainty. That's when your silence becomes your success story. Your calm becomes your answer. Your peace becomes the evidence of your evolution. Epictetus said, "Show your philosophy not through words, but through how you live." You don't need to post quotes about strength. Be the strength. You don't need to talk about detachment. Live it. You don't need to prove you've healed. Your energy will say it for you. When you stop performing for attention, you become untouchable. Because people can't manipulate what they can't trigger. They can't pull you back into chaos when you've stopped needing their reaction to feel seen. So let your life speak. Let your peace make the statement your words never could. Let your growth echo quietly in how you move, how you carry yourself, how unshaken you remain when the past comes knocking. They'll notice, not because you're trying to show them, but because your silence is louder than any speech you could give. Remember this. You don't need to win them back. You need to win yourself back. And once you do, never lose that version again. The version that knows peace is the only victory worth keeping. Mistake number 7. Mistaking silence for weakness. When you don't reply, they start to notice the quiet. At first, they might brush it off, tell themselves you're busy, distracted, or indifferent. But then the silence lingers. And in that stillness, something happens. They start to wonder. They start to guess. They start to write their own stories to fill the empty space where your words used to be. They're bitter. They must still care. They're trying to make me chase. Let them think what they want. You don't need to correct their assumptions. You don't live there anymore. Because your silence was never about them. It's about you. It's about the peace you fought for, the calm you now refuse to trade for chaos. In a world that glorifies reaction, that rewards the loudest, quickest, and most emotional response, restraint has become a rare kind of strength. Most people speak just to be heard. The wise stay silent to listen to themselves. Silence isn't weakness. It's wisdom wearing armor. It's you standing guard at the gates of your own energy, saying quietly but firmly, "I don't owe you an explanation. I don't need to defend my peace. I'm not available for what broke me." That kind of silence is powerful because it unsettles people who once had easy access to your emotions. They were used to your reactions, to your anger, your confusion, your attempts to explain. They could argue with your words, twist your tone, control the tempo of your energy. But they can't argue with calm. They can't manipulate quiet. They can't control what they can't reach. Your calmness is a language they can't speak. It's the one reply that can't be misquoted or misunderstood. And that's why silence cuts deeper than any speech ever could. because it forces them to face the echo of their own actions. Epictetus said, "When someone provokes you, remember that it is your own opinion which provokes you. Your silence isn't avoidance, it's awareness. It's the understanding that some conversations no longer deserve your voice, that some closures don't come from talking, they come from letting go. You're not ignoring them. You're honoring yourself. You're choosing to invest your energy where it grows, not where it gets drained. You're saying, without a single word, I choose clarity over confusion. I choose growth over reaction. I choose peace over performance." And here's the beautiful paradox. The quieter you become, the more clearly people start to hear you. Because silence has a gravity that words can't match. It carries weight. It communicates finality. Silence says, "I've said everything I needed to say, not in texts or calls, but in how I live now." When you protect your peace, you send the most powerful message of all. You've moved on. Silence isn't the absence of words, it's the presence of wisdom. It's the steady heartbeat of someone who no longer needs to prove their worth. It's the sound of a soul at rest, unbothered, unshaken, free. And when you reach that level of calm, you'll realize you never needed the last word, because your peace became the last word. So, when they reach out, don't see it as a door swinging back open. See it as a mirror, reflecting who you are now, not who you were then. There was a time when their message would have thrown you off balance, a time when your heart would have raced, your thoughts would have tangled, and you'd feel the pull to explain, fix, or rekindle. You would have stayed up replaying memories, scrolling through old conversations, wondering if this was the moment everything would make sense again. But that version of you, the one that needed answers to find peace, no longer exists. You've evolved past that. You've stopped searching for closure in others because you found it in your own stillness. You've stopped needing to be chosen because you finally chose yourself. You've stopped needing to prove your worth because peace became your proof. This moment, this message, isn't about reconnection. It's about recognition, recognizing your own transformation, recognizing how far you've come from the person who once mistook chaos for love, recognizing that silence, calmness, and clarity are no longer signs of indifference. They're your new definition of strength. The old you reacted, the new you reflects. The old you chased answers, the new you guards peace. The old you wanted to be seen. The new you knows that self-respect shines louder than attention ever could. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And that's the essence of this moment. Your happiness, your calm, your energy, they depend on how you think, not how someone else acts. You can't control who reaches out, but you can always control who gets access to your peace. Because true peace isn't built through control, arguments, or victory. It's built through letting go of what no longer deserves to disturb you. So when that message comes, don't see it as an open door. See it as a mirror. And when you can look at that mirror without losing your calm, you've achieved what the Stoics called inner freedom, the state of being untouchable by external chaos. Let them reach out. Let them wonder. Let them interpret your silence however they wish. Because your calm is no longer about them. It's about mastery. You're no longer the one chasing storms. You're the one standing still while they pass. And there's something deeply powerful about that stillness. It's the proof that you've learned to hold peace in your hands without letting it slip. Now, take this moment and anchor it within yourself. Breathe it in. Type it in the comments. Say it out loud if you must. I choose calm. I choose peace. I choose me. Every time you say those words, you remind yourself that strength doesn't live in reaction. It lives in restraint. It's not about what you say, but what you refuse to let disturb you. And if you're ready to go deeper, into the art of stoic silence, emotional mastery, and quiet confidence, make sure you're subscribed, because in the next video we'll uncover how to stay silent and make them respect you. Until next time, stay strong, stay grounded, and above all, stay stoic.